What's going on, people? It's your boy, Stay Connected People, reacting to this video, people, where Clavicular interviews Larry Will's people and Larry Will's wife and stuff like that. And yeah, people, man, he's just, confronting Larry about his wife's doing these sort of things that just getting his perspective on the relationship and this interviewing and questioning their friend the relationship itself, innit? So yeah, people, we're about to get into it. I think Myron Gaines is probably the best person to break down these sort of things, so I thought, you know what, let me just get his reaction rather than just getting the original reaction itself, because I like the breakdowns that Myron Gaines does, you know what I'm saying? So let's get into this one, people, with the reactions. Alright, let's go, people, man.
Him trying at me in any way other than like purely friendship, like pure friend, like he always treated me like a sister.
But that is, to be fair, a lot of people's is the whole friendship card, playing that role, being that supportive.
But we kind of like, he was a friend of like my best friends, my best
He's
friend.
a guy really who doesn't have game at the end of the day.
He has a lot of game, and like he always like used to,
bruh.
Like he was kind of like with one of my best friends, but there was just never anything. It's just, I don't know, he's just my best friend, and I never noticed anything inappropriate for him. And Larry feels very comfortable with him, and like he helped us out now while we were in Russia. Like he's just a good guy, and like he knows. Like I told him straight away about him, and I introduced him where I made him feel comfortable around him, about him. And what I was saying here, like somebody's asking me, I don't know, somebody asked us in chat, can Larry have girlfriends? Because I said I have a guy friend. I was like, no, because he never had the girlfriend before, and why would he?
So wait, hold on. She said he cannot have girlfriends, but you can have boys as best friends only. How does that make any sense, people? Like, how does that make any sense? I'm just trying to work that out. So you can have boys as boys best friends, but he cannot have girls as best friends as well. So whereas it's not adding up, people. I'm just saying, innit? That's a bit weird. I can't even lie. And this is supposed to be like an equal relationship on her end and his end. I don't know. That's off for me. I'm just saying, innit?
Have one while in the marriage with me, all of a sudden, like I'm not gonna create now a best friend where, like a guy best friend while I'm married. This was just like way before him. So now he never had a girlfriend before me. Why would he all of a sudden have it while in marriage with me?
Well, I don't think it's a good idea for Larry to just go out and inorganically get a girlfriend. But if something that made sense sort of came about, would you be opposed to that?
Well, depends on the situation. Like for example, our videographer.
Like it's just timing for you.
I'm not gonna lie. It sounds like she's trying to run the relationship. I can't even lie. She's trying to like run this whole relationship. Can Larry even speak right now? That's the thing. Is that look at his face? He's just looking at it like he's just probably like gazing at her. But I don't know, man. Is it just yeah?
Girlfriend before me, why would he all of a sudden have it while in marriage with me?
Well, I don't think it's a good idea for Larry to just go out and inorganically get a girlfriend. But if something that made sense sort of came about, would you be opposed to that?
Well, depends on the situation. Like for example, our videographer.
Like it's just timing for you that you already had a guy that you're friends with.
Yeah, her opinion shouldn't even matter in this regard. If Larry wants to get another girlfriend, he should be able to do it with like no headaches. And if she doesn't like it, she can go pound sand.
I would agree with Myron. Like, how you supposed to have, how are you allowed to have one, but he cannot? In this situation, this dynamic, it doesn't make no sense. It sounds like, oh, it's what I feel. It's what makes me feel good. It's not what we feel good. You know what I mean? It sounds like me. That's how she sounds right now.
Okay, guys, you gotta rule your like dictators, dude. Like opinion really doesn't matter. It really doesn't, dude. And I know some people don't like hearing that, but no one really gives a fuck about what what we think. Being very blunt and honest here. Who gives a fuck?
But maybe there's some sort of relationship that could form for him after the fact that you're already married, and so.
Well, it depends. Like, it's just there's so many different scenarios.
But
like,
you don't like it though. You just overall you don't like him having any.
Yeah. She don't like it. You can just tell. She just don't like it.
Friends.
No, not in the sense of like, oh, they're chatting on the phone, they're like trying to see each other, like, go for a coffee, for a lunch. Like, why? Like, I don't understand it.
Have you ever done that? Hung out with your guy friend without Larry's presence?
Yeah, because he doesn't. Never,
Well,
he
there
hasn't
you go.
been in Dubai for so long. But that.
Oh, that's weird.
That's
That
just
is weird.
like insanely hypocritical.
I don't think so. I don't agree with you, because it's not like I created now a guy friend all of a sudden not
that's like the
marriage,
exact-
and I'm trying to see him like outside of like our, like trying to go on lunch. Like, I just met, like, I created a friend in America now that I moved here, and all of a sudden like, oh yeah, let me go with this person for lunch. I just like became friends with him. You know what I'm saying? This was happened like a decade ago, like 10 years ago. I haven't made any new guy friends.
You guys said they're view botting. I don't know who's view botting and who's not. I just know that I don't view bot. View botting is for
And since I've been with Larry, or even before Larry, this friend has been my friend for 10 years.
Does that like make sense to you at all?
Yeah, she's been friends of this person. She's been friends with this person for over a decade, and he was well before my time. He did actually help us out when I was in Russia, and I didn't detect any sort of romance between the two of them. I don't see.
Yeah, but he's definitely tried before in the past, or would do it if the opportunity presented itself. Like, guys, the reason why having a friend, the reason why your girl can't have a friend, the reason why your girl can't have a male friend is because we all know that women are useless as friends. I mean, women are useless as girlfriends. Let's be honest. Even as girlfriends, they tend to be useless. You have to coach them and teach them everything to make them useful. So could you imagine if they're not even sucking your like, what? Get out of here. They're already useless. So since they're already useless, what's the point of being friends with them? They're barely useful when you are them, bro.
I can't even lie to people. Like, tell you the truth, yeah. There was one time, or was probably maybe on my part, I should have told the truth. I liked a girl, and I had to like, I was best friends with her. You know what I mean? And and she was like, I thought we was friends. Is that why I liked you? Clearly, you know I liked you. Or is that was my fault probably for not being straight up with her? But that shows you, yeah. I was once upon a time a friend of a girl, and then when I finally moved to her, she was bare shot. Like, I thought we was like bros. Know what I mean? Because I put myself in a friend zone, innit? And then when I got myself out, she tried to be like, no, we're just friends. I said, hell no, we're not. I liked you from time ago. Maybe I wasn't straightforward. Maybe that was my fault on my part. And probably I do take responsibility in that part. But I get what Myron's point is right there. Guys just want to be in a friend zone for how long? Once you try, once the girl maybe lets them in, most of them will do it. I'll say 90% most of them will try it at you. Know what I mean? Low key. I think there might be a few sections here and there that they might not like that girl who you're with. Know what I mean? But I would say most majority cannot be trusted around your girlfriend or wife or anything like that, because there's always an intention. They know too much about your business or what's going on. Imagine your wife all cries about you not doing this, you not doing that, and then she confides in him too much, and then he knows all your business. He knows the ins and outs and all sorts like that. And that's the thing that I don't think females really understand. After you break up with that person knows too much about your business in the relationship. That's what I was getting at, I think.
Then you're dumb if you want to be friends with them without getting your sucked. Come on, bro. That's why I don't buy it. They always have ulterior motives, because being a friend with a woman in of itself is useless.
Even I was. I done that. I told you.
It being an issue.
They always open chat
They offer no utility, bro. Like none.
with him. There was never even.
But listen, like, I'm just so secure in our relationship that I trust her, and when she tells me, look, like, it's always been platonic, and I take her word for it, and that's that. Now, would it be fair for me to say, hey,
Yeah, platonic for her, not the other.
hey, well, you've known this person for like 10 years, you can't talk to him anymore?
Yeah, I can't even lie to people. The girl who I knew, she knew I liked her. Like, she knew I liked her from time. but I was acting like oblivious, like I didn't like her. You know what I mean? But obviously, that's still on my part. I take accountability for that though, for not telling her from straight up. So only when I got was straight up to tell her like, yo, I'm not being your friend no more, cutting us off, or I get to know you properly, like me getting to know you, taking you out, going on dates. Maybe one time, maybe it might get to that situation when boyfriend and girlfriend. Till I done that, people, yeah, I was acting like I was her best friend. And I had to cut her off in the end, people. That's the mad thing about this.
Because
he's not lying.
I just don't want you to. Like, I don't, because if it was really bothering me, I would.
There is
but it just doesn't.
marks.
Like he's not local. Like he lives across the country. Like they're not seeing each other all the time. They're hardly ever interacting. I mean, how often do you even speak to him on the phone, if ever? You know, it's like not something.
I mean, we do speak, you know, but it's like it was never anything. If you ever was to go through chat, there was never anything I would hide from you. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always every chat.
But the problem would be that, you know, she's saying, you know, if you were to be going out and getting a coffee with someone of the opposite gender, like that wouldn't be okay.
No, because
while justifying herself doing the exact thing.
Because he doesn't have any friend. If he had a friend, like before me, like a girlfriend before me, and they were friends for real, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's understandable. But all of a sudden, he never had one and wants to have all of a sudden now while he's in marriage. It just does not make sense because we.
Well, 10 years ago, he might have been in a spot that, you know, it didn't make sense for him to cultivate a relationship with the woman or something, and maybe it did for you, right? So.
Like I have no problem with like somebody from like a that he's working with or whatever, call him or stuff like that. Like that's for me understand. But like all of a sudden, because I know the way he works and I know he even told me I never had like a girlfriend himself, and he just does not feel.
Yeah, because they're useless. Did you ever ask yourself why? Because girlfriends are useless, dude. That's why. Okay. Sorry to bring up the elephant in the room here, but yeah, friends are useless. Okay, that's why. Like I gotta spell this shit out for everybody.
So comfortable for me having that. Like he told me himself, and all of a sudden, like he tells me, "Oh, I changed my mind. I want to have a girlfriend." Don't you think that just like sounds ridiculous?
It's not about changing your mind, right? It's like if something came about that made sense for Larry to have a girl, whether it was you know, someone that he trained in the gym with, that's just a friend.
But he doesn't train with anybody at the gym like a girl.
I'm just saying if it made sense, if something were to come about that made sense for him to have a you know, friendship with a girl, you're sort of saying like, no, that's not okay.
Yes, that's my boundary.
And that's
maybe it's hyper.
Okay, so then he should be able to tell you, don't hang out with your guy. Like he doesn't care, I guess.
Yeah, like it doesn't make no sense, people. It sounds like she wears the pants in a relationship. That's or she just wants to take control of the full relationship. Like that makes no sense.
You can make that argument, he doesn't care, but it's still wildly inappropriate for her to impose these standards on him that he doesn't impose on her. And he's the man. Like, Larry, you're the guy here, bro. Yo, watching this shit is infuriating, bro.
Maybe to use hypocritical, but that's my boundary, and like that's not something.
Most guys have gone through this, but this kept quiet. But most guys actually feel like this. Trust me, people, man. Trust me. They call you insecure. They call you this and that. It's crazy. Yeah, man. Like, they think you're crazy and make you feel like you're crazy, but nah. Genuinely feeling like that.
I'm willing to change, and he knows that, and for him.
Okay, well then you know what, bro? You're single then. Bruh, like come on, man. This has pictures of herself all over the internet looking like a whore, bro. Like the least you could do is let me go another bitch without you crying and complaining about it, bro. Incredible. Incredible. These women are out of order, dude. Out of order, man.
Feels comfortable, you know, like understanding from your perspective, and in your dynamic that does not work, but in my dynamic, in our dynamic, that's how it is, and that's that, you know.
You know, if the opportunity made sense for me to, at this stage of my life, after being married for 5 years, befriend a female, maybe it's another streamer that we're now collaborating with on a regular basis, for example. Yeah. We're going to work that out, and like it's likely I'm going to probably never collaborate with a streamer, at least in the early stages of the relationship. I have that particular person, hypothetically speaking, alone without my wife, but maybe that could develop later on where like the wife is very comfortable. Maybe the streamer person that's a female has a boyfriend or she's married, and then she's okay, fine, like I trust you, you know. And I don't believe
you had that, like where we married, like you collaborated, for example, Fafa Fitness multiple times, and you know, like I wasn't even comfortable before I met her. Once I met her and like I met her boyfriend, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine, you know, that's cool, and they were communicating like as well.
Who gives a fuck what she likes or what she doesn't like? That's the thing, bro. Like you do what you want. You're the man. You pay the bill.
Yo, why is she trying to dictate everything at this point? This is crazy. I can't even lie to you.
Bro, you're giving this bitch an allowance. Like, yo, if I'm giving you an allowance, okay, you're gonna shut the fuck up, okay? I'm giving you an allowance, which means I'm allowed to fuck other bitches, okay? That's how this goes. If I'm giving a chick $50K a month as an allowance, and I'm not allowed to fuck another, I'll be, bro. Like what? What? I'm giving you an allowance to allow you to shut the fuck up about my affairs. Craziness, dude. Craziness. It's like sometimes I think like I'm like on an island by myself or something. Bro. Yo, like am I the only guy that thinks like are and like we shouldn't take anything they say seriously? Like Larry, come on, man.
And they went like not just him but her boyfriend for lunch. Like that's a different dynamic. But I wouldn't say that like that's your like a girlfriend. That's like a business relationship where.
I don't think we start to wake up until we have to get hurt. Trust me. We have to go through a couple of heartbreaks to really know as a guy that yo, it is deep out here to really go through it. Obviously, you don't have to. You just got to learn the game, basically.
You're working, same way would happen with the streamer you're working with. That's like a business relationship rather than like a friendship.
Yeah,
get with it.
I guess you could justify that, but I sort of feel like, and I'm getting the vibe, you know, maybe you kind of feel this as well, that she's kind of telling you how you feel and telling you that you're okay with things.
Yep.
And just
Literally, she's telling you how to speak. Like, he's not even speaking. Can you speak, please? Like, why is she dictating everything that it's like she speaks for him, but he hasn't spoken yet.
it feels
That's
a little
crazy.
bit like almost manipulative. Do you get that vibe ever?
I don't get that vibe because if I genuinely wanted to befriend outside of a business dynamic, I wouldn't, because for one, I've never been in that position where I wanted to befriend that there was no opportunity for us to do business together in any capacity for the sake of just being a friend. Like if that was the case, like I'd probably have the intention to.
Yeah, because Larry knows innately that are useless as friends. He even knows it. So why the fuck are you letting her have male friends?
Like it wouldn't be on so let's just grab a coffee and grab a bite to eat. It would just be like, well, I think you're hot.
This dynamic don't make no sense. She can do what she wants, but he can't do what he wants. Makes no sense.
There wouldn't really be, like, it would be malicious intent. Like, I just can't see myself ever being in that position unless there was like a business dynamic.
Yeah, there's really no reason to ever be friends with a female.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, like, you know, it is a little bit outrageous to have like a male friendship. The only man really that should be in your life at this point is your father, your brother, and Larry. You know, so
we'll have to agree to disagree on that one.
So I sort of feel like, and I think you're gonna sort of agree with me here, is that you love your wife so much that sometimes you're not willing to put your foot down and say things that you don't like, and that's really good.
Like
you feel so passionately about her. That means the relationship is good. The attraction's there, and I'm very happy for you about that. But I think you're so worried about losing her.
You gotta put your foot down with this chick, man.
Sometimes that you're sort of losing yourself. You know, and you're losing.
Facts.
But I think you're also looking just stuff from your perspective, how you would. I don't think you really look at things objectively. I think that's the problem here. You look how you would act.
He is looking at it objectively, and objectively speaking, you're out of control. Okay, it's actually quite to the contrary. Objectively looking at it, you're out of control, lady. You have all these standards and shit like that. Like, bro, you're getting an allowance. Like, what? How you gonna pay an allowance to tell you can't f other? Crazy to me, bro.
In a situation that you're in, you don't understand that. Like,
no, I'm not even trying to you know put myself into his shoes or insert myself in any way.
Like from your perspective, I feel like okay, you're setting your way, and like you hear what we're saying, but you're not really like processing it in a way to understand. Like okay, like maybe different.
Actually, that's the direct opposite. He's listening to you, and he's understanding it, which is why he's coming back with what he's coming back with. He can clearly see that the dynamic here is up. She wears the pants in a relationship. He doesn't. She's the demanding one. He's the workhorse. And if things continue on this trajectory, it's just not going to be a good day for Larry. So I would argue he definitely knows what's going on here.
People work a different way. There is a different dynamic with other people, and that's what makes.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that dynamic is going to work, right? Yeah, she's basically making an argument like, yeah, you know, you might not look at it as optimal, but it still works. Yeah, but for how long? You know, relationships like this never last long term. And I'm telling you, once she gets her immigration adjustment, she's out of there, bro. That's going to turn her to Goku.
That's the beauty of this of us as humans.
The fact that she answered the question on your behalf, I mean, that was like an extremely directed question towards you. And you know, like I said before, it seems like there's some sort of manipulation sometimes. Her sort of telling you how you feel. When I was asking you, like, genuinely, could this be it?
The way she carries herself is crazy, people. Like, please let him talk at least, so it don't look bad on your part.
You know, so like you don't even have to answer the question. It's just something to keep on your mind. Like maybe you are just scared of navigating things wrong and losing the thing that you love, and that's very understandable. I don't think that anyone should fault any man for having that sentiment, because that makes you human, right? That makes you extremely human. Someone who's not a psychopath, and someone who's deeply in love. So, you know, I admire you for that, and I hope, you know, you're able to sort of cultivate this relationship going forward in a way that just makes sense as much as possible for you. So, like, you don't have to say exactly how you feel or exactly what you want on the internet, but just going forward, sort of, I'm just hoping maybe you could keep some of this in the back of your head so that you're looking out for sometimes some of these different tactics that are being used, you know? So, just going forward, it's always good to have that on your subconscious.
Mm-hmm. And I'm standing on this hill where I say, like, I genuinely do not have an issue since the beginning with her being in contact with a male friend that was many years before my time. And that's that, you know, and maybe many here in the chat, I can see them spamming on a leash or whatever, probably people that aren't even in a relationship themselves.
Yeah, but the thing is that I know he's saying like, yo, it doesn't offend me, but okay, it's still not acceptable just because it doesn't offend you, right? You know, they have this famous saying like, you don't know what you don't know. Like in this case, Larry doesn't know what he doesn't know, right? His naivety is gonna do his undoing if he keeps going down this road.
Trying to tell me, a married man,
cruising for a bruising, man.
Happily married, by the way, like that I'm X, Y, and Z, and I should behave this way. But I'm happy in our relationship, and when it comes to that particular male friend, I know it's platonic. I take her word for it. I trust my wife. Like, there is no discomfort. Whenever we have,
look, she could be, and that's true, Larry. On her end, it's probably platonic, fine, but it ain't on the next. That's the point.
Discomfort, talk about it. And this is how come we've been able to make it 5 years, right? Because our communication is so strong. I don't bottle things inside. I don't just explode one day like, well, like, what's really at play here? Like, what do you have going on with this person? Or I don't trust you doing this or that, or talking to this person, that person. That's not how we get down. Like, we don't argue, we don't fight ever, right? We genuinely have a very healthy relationship because our communication is rock solid. So when these things that, whether it's the
we're fighting on stream. What are you talking about?
The beginning, the middle, or now come up, whatever it is.
We're having disagreements on stream, whatever it is.
Just talk it out.
Absolutely. And listen, the last thing that I'm trying to do is sit here and say this part of your relationship doesn't work. This isn't going well, because that would be right. I'm a 20-year-old kid. That doesn't even make any sense. You guys have been married for 5 years. You understand each other more than I or anyone on the internet ever could. All I'm simply saying is being brought to attention.
Also, optics matter for you as a social media influencer and the man in the relationship. This is terrible optics.
Attention or being made aware of potentially some other perspectives or some other things that could be going on is always good, right? So, you know, like I said, not trying to convince you anything is wrong or you should operate differently in any way at all. Just something to keep on, you know, in the back of your head. And when you see different behaviors, it'll sort of be like a little trigger, like, you know, maybe I have to reevaluate my position a little bit. And I've always had people doing that for me, and it's something that's been very useful because love kind of blinds you in a lot of cases. And friends have always been there to look out for me.
Yeah, it could definitely blind you if you don't see it from other people's point of view. It could be too late.
Me when I wasn't navigating through that kind of stuff in the best way. And you know, the same thing was true for me. I was like, no, this is going well. I'm, you know, might be okay with this. And then they tell me, you know, maybe this is a little bit of manipulation. Maybe you can navigate it a little better. I'm like, yeah. But it's in my head now, and I could react in a little bit of a different manner going forward when the same behaviors. Yeah, but the moment you put
other people in your relationship, I think that's wrong. Like, I understand your perspective. You know, you should have somebody else tell you, but I feel like, okay, we know our dynamic, and I feel like you should never let other people be involved in your relationship. I never tell any of my friends or my family whenever we have a problem. We go, we talk, we sort it out, because nobody else should know your business.
But they do have arguments online though, so it kind of is like you're putting it out there to be shown online for the world to see that you're having disagreements, even though it might be funny or not funny, or just for the internet, just to bait them in, to say, oh look, they're having problems.
I don't need my friend to give me a perspective
on
my relationship. They can never get a grasp a full picture of our relationship and our dynamics based on like the information I give them, because it's just like one-sided. You know, my friends hear my story, his friends would hear only his story, so there is never a full picture. So I feel like we should not take anybody's advice on our relationship unless it's something like, okay, like we went to a therapist and like we want to really talk about it, and we like openly say both of our stories, and that's like very different situation.
That's where I'm going to hugely disagree that the people around you and the people who are super close to you in your circle shouldn't have an idea of what's going on or shouldn't give you any advice as to sort of what you're doing. Your male friends, if you've cultivated those relationships in the right way, your circle is the right people, will never betray you and always have your back.
And that's for the men. The guys, if they're real, got you. But if the no,
that is not something that could be said about really anyone, right? So kind of understanding that, and that there will always be.
It's that ruin each other's relationships. Guys, we'll keep it real most of the time. Hey, bro, your girl's a bit. Oh, your girl is right? If asked. However, always ruin each other's relationships.
Those people in your life, those actually true friendships who are doing everything and will look out for you in any way necessary. It's good to have those people having a little bit of a picture into what's going on.
But you have friends who betrayed their friends after like 30 years of friendship, and they thought they were loyal, they were, like the best. I genuinely feel like, and I think we spoke about this and you agree as well, we should not ever put other people in our marriage and talk about, like our problems. We don't bring our relationship stuff out to public and to friends.
I believe our problems should be discussed amongst each other, not amongst our friends and family. Because as my wife said, and I agree with her, it's largely one-sided when you're telling your problem to your friends and family, whatever it is between your partner, they're only hearing your version of it, your perspective. They're not seeing the full picture, right? And usually there's a bias, right? So can they accurately give you advice if they're not seeing the full picture? Now, if it was a professional sitting down like you are, right? I'm not saying that you're a therapist, but like someone that's mediating to the people in the relationship, that's different, right? Because now they're seeing the full picture, but it's never the case. It's always like he said, she said, right? It's always just one-sided.
But here's the thing, just for the people in the audience who are watching, if you're the man and you're wrong, and you're just giving your friends your side of the story, that's still okay. That's still not going to be an issue, because at the end of the day, you should be operating out of self-interest and making a relationship that makes sense to you and the most ways possible. So it still wouldn't be a problem.
Do you think that when men are wrong and they talk to their friends and family closest to them, that they're admitting that they're wrong, or do you think they're changing the story to make it fit them best? Like they're spinning a slightly different narrative?
Well, the thing is with right, the difference is like when men ask for advice, they're typically trying to solve the problem. When women ask for advice, they're typically trying to get sympathy. So when you go to your guy friends about your chick, more than likely,
I think they're trying to get both. Actually, I think they're trying to get both.
Some issues happened. You're looking for some real advice. You just want to vent.
Most of the time,
resolution conflict between men and women is completely different. Okay, and since seek consultation from a very, I don't want to say evil, but from a almost like from a vindictive perspective. That's why the advice that they get is different. Okay, when men are going to their buddies to talk about their girl, a lot of the times it's like, how do I fix this problem? When girls that talk to their buddies, they complain about that said problem and almost leave it open ended because they're not really looking for a solution, and then that's when their friends chime in like, oh girl, you could do better, blah blah blah. That's the difference.
Doing that, I'm creating a new narrative. It's really not a big deal, because like I said before, like you should be the prize. You are the prize in the relationship as a man. If
you're damn right, not the chick.
Done everything to sort of set yourself up as a high status, high value male. You know what I mean? So it's like even if you were to be operating in bad faith for some of this stuff, it still benefits you in terms of operating out of self-interest.
What about her?
Well, I mean, it's the name of the game. Not everything in life is fair. Is kind of what I would say.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with like life is not fair.
Like it is sort of a battle. It's a power dynamic at the end of the day. Not really a battle, but it's a power dynamic. So maintaining that is extremely important, and it's competitive, right? It's two people playing against each other to maintain that power, and that power should be in the favor of the male in a healthy relationship. That's the
only way it works also, because any other way they would get bored and don't want to deal with the guy anymore. The man has to have the power for the benefit.
That's always historically been. That's what makes sense, because a man knows how to lead two people, knows how to lead.
And we know how to appreciate affection. Don't. I guess we got to in the chat. JCS says Myron is too scared to bring people on their show and talk all this stuff, bro, hides behind the screen. What are you talking about? What the fuck are you, bro? Some of you in the kick chat are reading.
Family towards success, towards sustainability.
I think that was the case.
Smooth brain, probably a
the dynamic of men has changed a lot nowadays. Like I think nowadays men are very different from before men. Like have you not noticed
But
how
everything that I just said is still true about Larry, even if it's not true about an entire society.
Yeah, but we're speaking in general. We're not speaking specifically about Larry now, right?
Well, in the context of this, we would be talking.
Well, you were saying
but sure.
historically speaking about men and stuff, so it was not. We were not talking about Larry.
Okay, I don't know. Vitaly, do you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vitaly wants to go. You say? I don't know what.
He's coming upstairs right now.
Yes or no?
No. I don't know. I don't know
asking me.
if Vitaly should come. If that's up to you.
I mean, he can come, and we're gonna dip anyway. It's 1:30.
Yeah.
Leave soon, so.
Okay. Yeah. No. Maybe a different time. Well, let's see.